Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of the Gaming Fuse. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Noof Nukem and the room. How the hell is everybody on this fantastic Monday evening, morning, or perhaps even night in your neck of the woods? Anyhow, I am super glad that you could be here. This is going to be a dynamite show. However, I do have one disappointing announcement for you, and as the man who brings the common back to sense, well, he can't make any sense tonight because he is not here. He is a little bit under the weather, so he's sitting this one out. But as always, I have my co-panel member straight from the northern wilderness of Canada. When things aren't on fire, he's on fire. That is Mental 9R. What's up, brother?
Uh, not much, man. Not much. Just happy to be here. Looking forward to the show tonight. I think we have some decent topics, and it should be fun.
Yeah, we do have some good topics, and we got a great crew in the chat. Plus, tonight is the night we give away that Mass Effect controller. This one comes to us courtesy of Power A. Of course, they didn't supply it. I bought this with my own money. Just wanted to make that out there. This is not endorsed by them, but I mean, I think they make some pretty good controllers for the price. You know, you get what you pay for in most cases, but you know what? If you're looking for a good wireless controller, these ones will fit the bill. They're very light. They're pretty durable. I actually have this controller myself, and I love it. So I'm sure for, if nothing else, any Mass Effect collectors in the building will be excited to add this to their collection. So we're going to do a draw at the end of the show. If you've been here for the last couple of weeks, so you've already been entered. And if you're here again tonight, this will be your fourth entry. If it's your first time, it's first time out. So there you go. So we're getting into it. Plus, I'm going to just put this out for the chat. If anybody would like to join us on the panel tonight, the bat signal is now out there. So if somebody would like to come on, maybe it's your first time podcasting, maybe you've been here before and you got some time to spare and would like to jump on with us, you're more than welcome. We'll definitely take three. Three is always great, and it takes the load off of the backs of these two guys over here. But anyway, Mental, before we get right into it and acknowledge the chat, what have you been up to? What have you been playing, if you've been able to play anything?
Um, Primarily Hogwarts Legacy. I'm trying to wrap that up before Starfield comes out this week, because I'm one of those guys with the early code, I guess. So I'll be jumping in. I think it's Friday. So I want to try and get through Hogwarts and get that wrapped up. And I've also been playing Quake 2. That was my big game back in the day for PvP. I was somewhat godlike, if I do say so myself. There wasn't too many servers I'd jump into that I couldn't just destroy everybody. So it's been a lot of fun playing through that again, and they have a few extra little tidbits in there that weren't part of the original. So it's been fun discovering some of that too. So I play a little bit of that, and then I usually finish my night in Hogwarts trying to wrap that game up.
Nice. It's a great game. Do you think Hogwarts, just on the topic? I mean, because a lot of great games have come out this year, and that was certainly one of the games that was an early front runner for like game of the year in a lot of people's minds. It certainly didn't disappoint, despite the numerous delays. I mean, where would you kind of put it out in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things? Do you think it would certainly get into that category this year?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's part of the conversation. I've spent way more time in there than I thought I would, to be perfectly honest. I'm around 55 hours now, I think.
Hmm.
And, I find myself getting sidetracked, doing all the side quests and finding things and just having fun going around killing stuff with, all the different spell casting and junk, flying around on the broom. And, uh, yeah, it's a lot more fun than I thought it would be, to be honest. I kind of thought it would be a game where, maybe I'd play that 20 hours or so, 10, 20 hours and get bored and move on. And here I am 55 hours in, I'm still enjoying it. So it's just the panic of wanting to finish it up before
Um,
Starfield launches, because I kind of have this feeling I'll never go back, right?
before
So,
before that game, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, as for
Yeah.
myself, I basically just been playing a kind of variety of things, but lately I've been kind of back into the cyberpunk world a little bit, kind of really enjoying that. So that's been a blast. And again, I always liked the game when it came out, but I can't believe how far
Mhm.
it's come. And I'm pretty, it's been a lot of fun. There's some really interesting missions in there, and there's a lot of different stuff you could do. And man, I mean, gotta hand it to him, man. It's come a long ways from where it first
Yeah.
started out. So
Yeah. It's funny
yeah.
you mentioned that, because I have been sticking my toe back into Cyberpunk too, because in my Xbox playthrough, I never actually finished it, and I just wrapped up. I'm trying to finish up that one side quest, the street racing thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've just got the final mission to go through. So, trying to wrap that up as I go as well, because I know that that DLC that's coming, I'm going to want to play that. So I want to make sure I'm finished and ready to go.
Indeed. Again, let's give a big shout out to the chat, and we'll start with our first super chat of the evening because it comes into one of the first guys who's always in the chat each and every week. One of the best followers you could ever ask for, someone that I hope one day I get to meet in person because he seems like one of the coolest individuals I've ever had the honor and pleasure to meet. And he's a standout guy. He got to start on our podcast on Gaming After Dark, and he's never looked back. I gave him some advice. He took it to heart, and he really went out on a limb and did it. And I'm referring to the one, the only Doggy Dog 420. He drops $1.99. Mentally, you can be the one who can you can take this away. Let me bring it up on the screen here.
I was going to say I don't see anything.
No, because I'm in the wrong screen. Here we go.
Gaming Fuses live. Woo! Cheers, my friends.
And cheers to you, Doggy Dog. Again, thanks for the support, guys. Super chats are certainly not required, but definitely appreciated. So if you'd like to donate to the channel, most importantly, regardless of your money, hit the like button. Share this stuff out. Tell your friends. The people that are in this chat have certainly told me time and time again that they enjoy our banter, they enjoy our topics, and say this is one of their favorite podcasts, but yet, I don't know, it's always a struggle, and I can't understand it. I took that break, and I don't mean to sit here and whine, and people call Noof Nukem a whiny bitch, but I really was building some momentum with my channel, and when I took that small break, I didn't think it would hurt my channel as much as it did. Now, it's either that or I did something to piss a lot of people off. Maybe it's a little of the left, a little of the right. I don't know, but it's just the growth has been very stagnant, and I'm not in this to make money, and certainly not in this to become a massive YouTube star. If it was going to happen, it would have happened already. But it would be nice. I do appreciate seeing more new faces and seeing that support through my social channels, and maybe I just got to work a little harder, and maybe I need to do some more streams and all that good stuff. But yeah, hit that like button, share, just like Sir X-Man, one of the best, has done. He's in the chat tonight, so thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. Are the best. So speaking of the best, big shout out to all the chat. And I'm going to bring up the Wheel of Winning a little bit later on. And again, most of you guys are now on your fourth entry. And most of the people that are in this chat already, I think, are definitely on their fourth entry. I've been entering as we go. That's why I was a little bit tardy on this podcast tonight, because I had to come home straight from work. I had to rush down, start adding the names onto the Wheel of Winning, so to speak. So anyway, in the chat tonight, we got MG. He's live in the house. Doggy Dog is here, of course. We got It's Timmy. He's hanging out with us. Talos Ray is in the building. Draven Arrow's here as well. You're wicked hot, my good brother. What's happening? Good to see you here. My other good brother, he was also a co-panel member with me back in the day. Stinking Corpse is hanging out with us. And we've got Moggs E is in the building. Good to see you, Moggs. We got RWK88, who is rocking out with us. Yeah, good to see you, my friend. Two Pad Stack, my another Canadian brother right here. We won't hold the Toronto Maple Leafs against you, but it's all good, brother. Talos Ray, Darko's Dreamers, Curry Cosmos. We might, yeah. Me and Mental are definitely not Maple Leafs fans for sure, but I applaud you for sticking it out with them. We've got Monster 530 here. What's going on, Monster? Darko's Dreamers is here. We've got Dreadpool is in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. John 907 is here as well. And who else we got going on here? Newtorious, my Newfoundland brother. Good to see you here. Thimber, John Wolf is in the building. You might remember him from last week. He was our guest on the show and did a hell of a good job. Thanks for being here, John Wolf. And Sir X-Man here as well. And who else? We got Cyber Gunter, one of my favorite guys to play games with. Awesome dude right there. And who else? I think we've just about caught up with everybody. You guys are fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah, Service Good Energy in the building. Let's get this show on the go. Let's first of all pull down this little super chat here, and then we'll get right into the topics. We're going to start in reverse order. We will come back to the Gamescom thing, but I want to kick this show off, Mental, with talking about the game that you have on your screen behind you. That is Starfield. We are just weeks away and several days away now from early access for those who've coughed up the money to get early access and a little bit of DLC to kick off. But, despite everything, despite the hype, despite the certain excitement in the Xbox field, boy, oh boy, oh boy, do we ever see a lot of videos and a lot of salt and a lot of crap, typical as usual, from the other side, seemingly trying to find anything and everything now to basically bring Starfield down. So get prepared because those bad reviews are coming. Those zeros are coming. The review bombs are getting ready to come. And again, it is so sad because when this game was announced as essentially a multi-plat, people thought it was going to be a multi-plat at first. There was a lot of hype from both camps. And now all of a sudden it's Starfield, the game that's not going to live up to the hype. The game that Todd Howard said it was going to be is not going to be. All of this and so much more. It's just mental. What the hell do you make of this? It's just, are these guys, I mean, your name is mental, but I'm starting to think a lot of these guys are actually the mental ones because they have serious issues. Can they not appreciate anything that comes out on Xbox?
I don't think they can. The salt is so thick. It's actually just it's mind numbing to me that the level of stupidity that you see out there is it just blows me away when you see some of the comments that are made and the stretches they make to try and complain about something. It blows my mind. Did you see the guy that had stolen a few copies of it from the place he worked?
No, I did
And
not, but he got
then
arrested or something, didn't he? Is that the one
yeah,
you're
he
talking about?
did. He did. Yeah, he put it all on. I think it was Instagram or something or TikTok or whatever. He's making videos of everything, and then he put them up for sale
Mm-hmm.
on eBay, the spare copies. And yeah, like brain dead move or what? But nonetheless, the guy, the video of it. Um, well, first of all, it was in like portrait mode. He didn't have it in landscape, so it looked ridiculous. But just filming it with a cell phone, but. I mean, the game looks pretty darn impressive. Even through that, I saw little bits of it. I didn't see much of it, but didn't want to spoil anything for myself, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
you catch bits and pieces here and there, and I mean, it just looks really good. Like I am so looking forward to getting into the world and seeing how it plays and exploring some of that myself. But people just shredding it. Oh, 30 FPS here. Stuff like that.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get where people's minds are at that just because it's a game they can't play, they have to hate it. And it
Right.
has to suck. And
Well,
they want it to fail. And so on and so
let me
on.
correct you
It's,
there. They can play it. They can play it on those
well,
ultra high
yeah,
end
yeah.
PCs that PlayStation guys
Yeah.
always claim that they have,
Yeah, that
right?
they all have. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
well, I can play in a PC
Yeah.
because they all claim that they got one of these big, massive rigs that can handle this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Or you could spend a little bit of money. Hey, you know what? You could even play it on the incompetent little Xbox One S or Series S, right? Which is not
Yeah.
going to it's going to set you back the less cost than a Nintendo Switch. How about that? Who would have thought you could pay a little bit of money and have access to one of these big games? But apparently, that's just not an option.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get where their mindset is. I just don't think that way. So it's hard for me to put me in that space and try and figure out why people just feel the need to, crap all over something just because it's on the other box, you know? It's
I
not
mean,
that
I'm
expensive
an
to play
Xbox
Xbox
guy. I
games.
mean, Mendo, I'm an Xbox guy, and I have a PlayStation. I've had all the PlayStations,
Yeah.
and I've bought all their best
Uh,
games pretty much for the most part. And I don't think I've ever
yeah.
ripped apart any of their games on any podcast ever. At least the ones that I bought.
Yeah.
I have all the God of Wars. I have Ghost of Tsushima. I even bought the ones that didn't sell so well, like Days Gone, and I bought the
Hmm.
Order 1886, and I bought all the
I've
Horizons, and
got
I even
both
bought the
those. Yeah.
PSVR 2. Like, how
Yeah.
can you just can't be a fan of gaming? What is it always got to be such a negative on something that should be something the industry should be applauding? I mean, Starfield's a massive game, and sure, there's
Yeah.
going to be little
Yeah.
things in this game that will not live up to everything. But I mean, for the bigger the game is and the bigger the scale, the tougher it is to like. You can't climb or touch every single square inch of a game when it's this massive, and like
Yeah.
if you're that kind of idiot that wants to wander off for 300 kilometers in some weird direction just to see if you can get to some invisible wall or something, man, you got too much time on
Go
your hands.
for it.
I'm going to be busy building some cool shit and go, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally get you. And I have a confession to make. I did pre-order the Spider-Man PS5. I happened to see it there, and I
Did you?
thought, yeah, I kind of,
Damn.
I kind of did. So,
Got to do an
yeah, I
unboxing
guess
though.
that'll be here on Friday. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'll have to do
Does that come
something
out
like that.
already?
But I think it says available September 1st if I
Hot
wasn't crazy on the pre-order. So
damn.
we'll see.
So the
I'll,
system comes out before the game then, because the game's not
yeah, I
ready yet,
think
right?
so. Yeah, I think so.
You'll
Yeah,
get the
I'll
code.
double check,
Because does it come with
but
the code for the game, or is it just the console?
it comes with the game. Yeah,
Oh shit!
it's
Hot
attached
damn.
to the console, but it's like a digital copy attached to the console.
I'll
But
give him this much credit. This custom console PS5 looks a lot nicer than the Spider-Man PS4 Pro. Because I
yes,
had that one and I was a little bit like I bought it, but when I got it, I was like, honestly, this really is just a red console with a sticker. And I'm thinking to myself, it could have been a lot nicer if they had actually even made like the middle section of the PS4, if that was blue, kind of issuing like the blue
yeah.
accents in the suit. But they did very nothing to it. It's like, I don't know how they get away with such minimalist designs when they certainly have the real estate to kind of do something a little more
Yeah.
eccentric. You know what I mean? This one's a lot nicer.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty nice, and I am a sucker for limited edition consoles. Like I've still got my PS4, the Battlefront one, the original one with Darth Vader on it.
Hmm.
Um, and I love that console. To me, that's one of the best looking consoles ever made because I'm a Darth Vader fan. But
That was a
it
good
just
one.
it
I
looks
like the
great. Like
Batman one too. The
way,
Arkham City one was
yeah,
pretty cool with the
yeah,
sort of the holograph or
yeah.
whatever of them.
Yeah, that one's cool. I did not like the God of War one. I thought that was ugly as sin. I thought what was the Battlefront 2 one I didn't like at all either. I think there was a Last of Us 2 PlayStation if I'm not mistaken. But the one that I really liked, and I've actually been watching for these on eBay, and I've got my eye on a couple of them. And that's the 50 million edition, the PS4 Pro, where they made 50,000 of them.
Hmm.
I didn't get one at the time, and I was kicking myself later. Like I really wanted to get one just from a collector's
Hmm.
perspective. So I've been watching eBay to see if I can get a half decent deal on one of those that isn't all scratched up, right? Like that's the big problem because it's
Yeah,
that translucent plastic that just scratches like crazy. So
yeah.
I'm pretty particular about it. It has to look good, and if I'm
Hmm.
gonna spend the money, but yeah,
I mean, I gotta ask the people in the chat, guys. I mean, realistically, right? Does anybody in this chat that think that Starfield is going to be like a bad game or a mediocre game? And I want your honest opinion. And I got a feeling I already know the answer to my own question. Because I've said this, I think a couple weeks ago, or probably even last week. I said the only thing about Starfield I don't know, right? It's not whether it's going to be good, it's whether it's going to be great. I think that is the only question mark in any of our minds is we know it's going to be solid. I think we all know we're going to
yeah,
come out and every one of us, if you like this kind of game, and certainly if you like what Bethesda brings to the table, it's not like we don't know what we're getting to some degree. Phil Spencer even said this game is a little bit more Oblivion than it is Skyrim, which got a lot of people excited apparently. Now I'm not 100% sure exactly what he meant by that, but I like what he said, and I think that's a pretty damn good analogy regardless. And again, it's just will it be great? Like so far I've heard rumors that apparently there's not a lot of bugs, and that's a good thing. And I'm pretty sure that's something that they wanted to hammer home. I'm pretty sure in the boardroom meetings leading up to launch, that's probably one of the biggest key things is that the game is done. But I mean, they took several times, right? This game was supposed to come out long before this, and they did take
yeah,
a lot of time to say
over a
we're
year
going to try
ago.
to put some polish on this. So I'm not expecting to be flawless, but I said again, if they keep the mistakes or the errors or the bugs down to the point where the game is playable, it's not groundbreaking, you can expect a couple of little things here, and then I'm sure we're going to see some hilarious stuff probably in the first couple of weeks that people will break. I mean, the game of this magnitude is not going to come out 100% perfect. I mean, hardly any game ever does. But again, you have to forgive them a little bit more when you have games that are this scale. There's so many different moving parts that it's just about near impossible unless they have a test team of several hundred people playing this game. So yeah, like Talos Ray says, I reckon it's going to be great. I'm with you, Talos.
Man,
I think it will be a little bit closer to great than just good.
my only fear is that my hype level is too high and my
Mm,
expectations are too high. Because I haven't been this excited to play a game. I can't even honestly, I don't remember the last time. It was probably Halo 3. To be honest, it was probably that long ago that I felt this excited to actually launch a game and play it. Um, and that's my concern, because sometimes you overhype things in your head, and then there's always a letdown, because if your expectations are that high, it's pretty tough to you know
Mm-hmm.
realistically meet them sometimes. And I think when I played God of War, I came out of it kind of going, wow, I was okay, but it wasn't this 10 out of 10 everyone was telling me about, right?
Right.
And again, it was just the hype level was so high because I played it 6 months later. So you get all the hype that was built up, and I hope I haven't done that to myself with Starfield, but it looks so good. And every time I see a trailer, every time I look at the gunplay, things like that, it looks so crisp. The
Right.
movement looks so fluid, like, yeah. And it's just, I hope ID's influence, right? Because they are masters of shooters, and I'm just that's throw all that together. And I love Doom so much in the way it plays with the how crisp the controls are. If it feels like that on Xbox, it's gonna be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not have fun playing that? Just going around, even if you're just going around killing everybody. Like,
Yeah.
that's my style. I could get into that.
I think that's going to be the thing with Starfield. It's going to be a different game for different people. Because some people are going to
Hmm.
do a lot of flying, some people are going to do a lot of exploring. You're going to have some people that are going to mess around
Yeah,
and build everything under the goddamn sun. It's going to be
yeah,
like Minecraft for some people, building ships and building this I mean that to me is one of my exciting parts. Actually, like putting together my own ship, being able to name it, and putting a little bit of a personality
yeah,
to this game. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I just can't wait to see what sort of the combat scenarios turn out to be like, and I can't wait to see what some of their more structured missions turn out to be like. I don't want this game to feel. I guess at the end of the day, my only worry is that I don't want the game to feel like it's too much of a lot of filler, where you just feel like there's really no purpose to a lot of the stuff that you're doing, other than just to say, well,
yeah,
this game is massive and you can go get lost in it, which is cool. But I wanted to still kind of keep me on track or in check, because I still want to get a great story and a great experience out of this game. Kind of similar to having like the thing with Mass Effect was like it had enough exploration, but it didn't kind of take you off course too far. And I
yeah.
love the narrative in Mass Effect. I mean, to me, Mass Effect 2 is still the pinnacle of sci-fi RPGs in my book. There's very little out there that's been able to come close. It's just that was amazing. I would say 3 from a combat perspective and the build of the game, but number 2 is just a whole story arc on number 2, and the stuff you could do in that was just absolutely nuts. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm steering off course, as they say in the space world. So bring it back to again. Again,
Yeah.
is a lot of this just a jealousy aspect that they're really bitter and pissed because again, this was a potential PlayStation release, or is
Potential
it just again,
exclusive,
or is it a
right?
little bit of both? I mean, a lot of those guys that have YouTube
Yeah.
channels, they're just trying to draw ire. They're trying to please the PlayStation crowd, piss off the Xbox guys, and trying to bring in sort of lots of those click hits and stuff, because half the time you can't trust people out there these days. Nobody, there's very few of us in the podcasting game that really come out and give an honest opinion. I've been told I'm one of the very few that does that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people that still follow me and are in this chat tonight, that's one of the things they've always respected. That Noof tells it like it is and doesn't pull any punches. You're not going to get a dishonest opinion from me because I'm not being paid off by nobody, and that's the beauty of a small channel. Nobody's paying for my shit. I'm not saying stuff
Hmm.
just to blow fluff up somebody's ass. I'm going to tell you the way I like it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the way you got to be, right? To be honest, like if you can't be honest with yourself and you're making crap up just to try and get views, I don't want to be that guy either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too old for that. Uh, I'm gonna tell it like it is, and I'll probably do some sort of an opinion piece, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about it a lot on this channel after it's
Mm-hmm.
been out for a bit and everybody's been playing it. I'll be brutally honest, as they like to say. This is my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. This is what I thought of the game, or this is what I think of the game. This is what they're doing great. This is what they're suck at. This part blows, whatever, right? I mean, if you're off, like you say, exploring and gathering resources and it all feels a little bit pointless, well, that's not a great model, right? But,
Mm-hmm.
typically Bethesda, they'll have some kind of a purpose for you that you're going to have to go look for X, Y, and Z, because when you combine all three of them, it's going to make something that you need, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mind that type of exploration. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lot of that in Hogwarts, right? I feel like, I'm getting challenges done. I'm doing something
Yeah.
that's adding to the game experience for me. I get this other exclusive thing or whatever it is, right? You find different unidentified items and stuff that, end up being like your power ups, right, in the game.
Hmm.
So, anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, there's a lot of vitriol out there right now. But guys, you know what? At the end of the day, we don't have to sit there and buy into it. Get the game, play the
Uh,
game, love the game. You know what? We're going to be too busy enjoying the damn game instead of enjoying the Twitterverse or the Xverse, as they say, and talking about this crap. So
yeah,
that's the
it's
good news for us
hilarious.
Xbox people that love the ecosystem are invested. That's the good news for us is we're going to have an iconic game that may be a trendsetter, might be one of the biggest games ever in just a few days, few weeks, whatever it is. It's getting so close now. Enjoy it, and hopefully this is something that sort of turns that perception of the Xbox platform. We're already seeing that sales of the Xbox consoles are starting to go on the up and up. I mean, I don't care about the numbers. I'm not here to talk about sales. We know that that's virtually irrelevant in the Xbox world, but regardless, you like to see that positivity. You like to see more people jump into the ecosystem. You like to see more people getting involved. I mean, like I said, more money being spent, more people in here just means bigger, better things for Xbox gamers, for the studios, for the companies, for Game Pass. It's all kind of a big circle, and that's fantastic. Let's give a big shout out to the chat right now
Absolutely.
because I see a very familiar face here. That good to see him in the chat. The Don Gaming, one of my oldest longtime gaming buddies from this podcasting scene, is here. Good to see you, my brother. It's been a long time. We got Axel1324, the host of the Good Morning Xbox and Sunday Morning. He also does the iconic video game podcast Friday nights. If you guys have never checked out Axel's amazing channel, go, please do it. Support the guy. Show him some love. He's just one of the nicest guys you can meet. Nothing but love and respect for Axel and Doggy. Doggy do that show about Princess Zelda. Good to see her. Red Monkey Butt is here as well. Good to see you in the building. The Game Complainers is here. We got Cool Cat Terry. Yes, she's also on Good Morning Xbox, guys. Another fantastic podcaster with a lot of flair. Great indie spotlights on that show. Just so much reason to go check out those shows. I know they're a little bit early, but catch them on the replay. Darko's Dreamers here. John 907, Tim A, Doggy Dog, Talos Ray, Draven Nero, Dreadpool's hanging out with us as well. Like I said, Curry Cosmos is here. Fastback from the NLG podcast. Good to see brother Fastback, and so many more. You guys are absolutely amazing. We love you to pieces. Thanks so much. And guys, don't worry. I've been adding your names to the Wheel of Winning. Got a couple more to add here right now. So, any further thoughts though on the whole thing, or shall we kind of move the course here? What do you think there, Captain Picard? Are we ready to move along?
Yeah. Sorry, I actually didn't realize I had muted my mic, but yeah. Well, I threw
uh,
on the old
uh,
headset too, right? Just because we're talking about it, but yeah,
I'm sorry,
I
guys. In the chat, is Mental not giving off a little Captain Picard kind of look going on here? What do you think, guys? Huh? Anybody in the chat?
anyone?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. What's going
Yeah,
on,
I
Michael
guess so, maybe.
Donnelly? First time I've seen you in a while. Good to see you here as well. All right, gonna add some names to the chat. But anyway, we're gonna move along to the next topic of the evening, I guess. Look, Starfield's coming out soon. We're gonna be able to play it. You got to be happy if you're a current Xbox owner or playing a PC, man. You're gonna want to pick this one up. And you know the good news, guys and gals, it's on Game Pass day one, so there's no reason not to play it and give it an honest shot and see if you like it or not. And if you don't, hey, there's a lot of other great games out there that you can invest your money on this year. So we are not hurting right now when it comes to great games. Hearing the good things about Baldur's Gate. I know very little about that game. I'm quite curious. Now, is Baldur's Gate, maybe you can correct me on this, Mendel, because I'm not 100%. I'm going to have to do my research. Like, I know the series. Like, I definitely heard of the series. I've never played a Baldur's Gate game. But is Baldur's
Neither have
Gate,
I.
is that like an action RPG, or is it more of a strategy? Can somebody just clarify that for me? Because I
I
don't
think
really
it's
know.
some kind of turn-based, right? Like they keep talking about you roll the dice or something. I don't know much
Hmm.
about it, but I guess when you battle, it has to do with rolling dice and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. see comments like, "Oh, you'd quit after the first time you have to roll the dice and stuff," right? And
Right.
okay, yeah, maybe I would too. I don't know. I've never played it, but I know a lot of guys out there love it. Think it's the game of the year so far, and obviously the meta scores were through the roof. So, play the ponies are all out there bragging about how it was a console exclusive. So of course they're all upset when Phil Spencer waived uh, the equality clause or whatever, so they didn't have to bring out split screen on the Series S for it, so that they could launch quicker. But I don't know. You tell me, man. Our chat can maybe tell us. Is there anyone that's playing it? But
yeah, is anybody playing or waiting for it to come out on Xbox? Like I said, it's getting all these fantastic reviews, and they're claiming it's it's a contender now for Game of the Year. And I'm over here sitting like, I know what the series is, but I've never played one, so I kind of like know, like, is that a game that I think I'd invest in, or you know what I mean? So I'm kind of out in the dark. I guess I'm gonna just have to do my reviews on it. Old fraud over here, but you know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know much about it myself, and the thought crossed my mind, like, you get that FOMO, right? Am I missing out here because everyone's talking about it? And I just, I watched a little bit of gameplay. I don't know if it's my kind of game,
Doggy dog, the
I think
ponies don't talk about it now. No, they're too busy trashing Starfield, and it's not even out yet.
yeah, no kidding.
Fastback says he's never played, so he has no clue either. I'm glad. Cool Cat Terry probably knows. She knows about every freaking game. She's looking forward to Baldur's Gate. I'm a big fan of Divinity Original Sin, and it should play very similar, she's saying. So yeah, I guess it's a good thing. What's going on? Eternal Shaddai is in the house. It's good to see you, brother. All right, but anyway, getting back on track and getting to the next topic of the night, we're going to talk about Gamescom. It was it's just about in the rearview mirror now. I think if it's not closed, I think it's already over. But a couple of good days with some very good, lots of games shown off, or certainly a little bit of a deeper dive into a lot of different games that we've probably heard about for over the last little while. Did anything stand out to you, Mental, or anyone in the chat? What were some of your favorite moments from this Gamescom? I thought it was pretty good. There was some really good stuff shown off on opening night live with Jeff Keighley, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of good stuff
job that went up on the stage talking about GTA 6. What was that all about?
Isn't that the same person that went up before or something like that?
I don't know. Strange people in this world, but yeah. I got to say, Keeley, as much as I find him a little bit over the top on some things, he handled that pretty well.
Yeah.
Kind of just took a step back and, show kept on going. So that was cool. But I think for me, man, I'm really looking forward to that Call of Duty coming out, Modern Warfare 3. Like, the Modern Warfare games were my favorite of Call of Duty anyway. So
yeah.
It's I thought it looked great, that little gameplay segment. I'm kind of was getting pumped for that one. Of course, Cyberpunk, the DLC. I really loved Cyberpunk. It was easily my game of the year when I played it, which would be, I didn't play it when it first launched. I played it kind of the summer after that on PC, and I loved it. Thought it was great. As we were talking about pre-show, I'm still working through my Xbox gameplay, and then probably Stalker is the other one that, kind of three big titles. I watched most of the Gamescom, like the first day, that intro show. There was a lot of games there. There was some indie ones that kind of caught my eye a little bit too, even in the pre-show. But, as far as big heavy hitters, the ones I'm really looking forward to, that would be the ones there.
Well, the one game that definitely has my total attention, even though I know I'm going to get punished and probably won't want to buy it, but my God, every time I see it, and that is Lords of the Fallen, the new one.
Yeah,
holy
that was
mother
on
of
my
God.
list. Yeah,
but hopefully it's a lot better than the original, because I thought the original had some great promise, but didn't quite hit the mark. And the new one looks like it's probably going to be bigger and better in every way. Graphic wise, it looks amazing. But again, it's another
trailer
Dark Souls type game. Yeah, it looked very, very, very good. So
it did.
Yeah, Wukong is looking. Oh my God, Wukong looks so good. Oh my God, I'm probably gonna have to get that one too. Holy shit, man. Yeah.
I'm looking through, like, I made some notes as I was watching it, right? Just in anticipation of this night here on the podcast. But like common theme I see is there's just too many games. I don't have enough time,
Right?
right? I just there's so many coming, right? And Starfield's just going to be a life suck that it's going to make it hard to play anything else, unless again maybe I've way overhyped it. I don't know, but maybe by I'll start playing it on Friday, and by Saturday I'll be like, this game sucks.
Right.
Move along. Yeah, I doubt
Yeah.
it, but
Any of those Dark Souls style games for me, man, I just have a hard
I
time
hear
really
you.
getting into it.
I
Um,
hear you.
let me just see here. I want to bring up. I'm just going to bring up the article just to kind of refresh my memory because like a lot of times there's so many games on these shows. Sometimes I can't remember what I seen. Now let's go over to one of the racing games, and I know Cool Cat Terry's a big fan of the original crew. She's in the chat. They're coming up with the Motor Fest. I mean, that looks pretty cool. I'm definitely getting, hey, if you can't beat them, join them vibe, and kind of doing their own take on the Horizon Festival. It seems like to me. Is that the kind of vibe that you're getting from that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was very much if you can't beat them, join them vibe for me too. Um, I've never played any of the crew games. I'm more of that. I'm more the motorsport guy anyway, right? So
Hmm.
the open world stuff in Horizon, it's entertaining for me for about an hour, and then I kind of get bored with it. But
Hmm.
yeah, it very much like you say. If you can't beat them, join them.
Now, one of the things that got me excited is they have a variety of vehicles, not just cars. It looks like they have motorcycles,
Yeah,
quads, Indy cars, the whole nine
yeah.
yards in there. So that might actually get me definitely going. Speaking of racing games as well, Expeditions, a Mud Runner game. Cool Cat Terry, also a big fan of, I think, Snow Runner and those games. So that was looking pretty good. And there was a one called Delta Force Hawk Ops, which had very good graphics. Hopefully,
Yeah,
the game is not just another lackluster can't compete with Call of Duty kind of game. But I like what I saw. It definitely looked like a next gen sort of shooter. What do you think on
yeah.
any of
It looked
those?
that one looked interesting to me as well. Again, like a lot of them, it was hard to know exactly what the game is about, right? Other than obviously it's a first-person shooter and you go around killing people. But what are you doing in the game? And
Mm,
I'd want to know more about it before if I, especially if it's not in Game Pass and I actually have to go buy it.
right.
Uh, but yeah, on a off note, I know you're kind of a more of a Zack Schneider fan. What did you think of
No.
Rebel Moon?
Eh. Um, it looks okay. I mean, I do like Zack Snyder, but there's just something I don't know what it was, but something just wasn't jiving right with me. And I hear it's going to be a very, very long movie too. I think this is going to be like one of the longest movies he's ever done. So we're talking probably longer than
Like
the
4 hours?
Justice League edit apparently. So they're saying it's kind of like his version or his take on a Star Wars kind of universe. I'm
Hmm.
willing to give it a shot. Obviously, anything that Zack Snyder does definitely has me interested, and obviously they're making a game for it. I
Hmm.
thought it was funny because Keely's like, Keely goes, "Oh, well, that looks like or something like a great game or something like that." And I'm thinking, Keely,
Yeah.
you didn't show off the gameplay. You showed the movie trailer.
Yeah, you showed the movie, and I'm like, that's exactly what I thought. Because I'm
It's like
really looking forward to that game,
that
and I'm
wasn't
like,
the game,
that
man. That was
wasn't
the
the
movie.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of laughed. I was like,
But
he kind of flubbed
yeah,
on that one, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking
yeah,
forward to that game. I'm like, well, that wasn't the game he showed though, but okay, it's all
yeah.
good.
Whoops. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, no, there's
I'm
a lot of good stuff. Alan Wake 2, we saw a little bit more of that than we had
yeah.
in the past, and of course, Sam Lake came out on stage. He's in
Hmm.
the game too, Sam Lake. He makes an appearance in every one of his own games. He plays some kind of character in it. Now, I'll be honest with you, the only thing about Alan Wake that I'm still not jiving with is the fact that Alan Wake looks like a cross between John Wick and Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, what the fuck happened to the characters on it?
Yeah,
I don't like his
looks.
look because all I keep looking at is John Wick.
Yeah, it does not look the same as I remember. That's for sure.
Not
And
even close. It looks like he
yeah,
must have had a facelift or something. Like he doesn't even look close.
it's a little weird. I don't know why. I don't know why they do that type of stuff. What was wrong with the original look, but I let that kill the game for me. No, I'm sure I'll play it. When is the question? It might not be till next year or something, but
Right.
I'll definitely play it. I really loved the first Alan Wake. Never actually finished playing the remaster. There's another one that I got to get back to at some point as well. and finish up. I'm only, I think, a few hours into the remaster, but it's different when you've already played the game. I think I bought it because it was super cheap, the remaster. But yeah, I really loved the first Alan Wake. I played it both on Xbox and on PC way back when it came out. So
Indeed.
yeah,
Yeah,
good
man.
game.
So,
Good game.
like I said, man, there's so many games right now. It's really off the charts.
It's
It's
crazy.
we went from having a drought of games, essentially, or certainly big games, to kind of like, what the hell, guys? Like October,
Yeah.
September, October. By the time November comes, everybody's either going to be burnt out by playing, or they're going to be absolutely stinking broke. Like, I almost need a second job to afford all this shit at this point. This is crazy. Not to mention
Yeah.
people buying collector's editions and the controllers, and now the console skins and everything else. So please, I
Yeah.
need my channel to survive. I need a second income here.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Oh
Yeah, it's
shit, man.
crazy. Like, and that's, I guess, where you get Game Pass
Mm-hmm.
is a good thing. It helps ease a bit of that burden,
Well,
and
100%. Yeah.
yeah, and now that I have a PS5 coming, maybe I'll look at PS Plus again with one of their streaming editions on it. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so many games. Although there's nothing really on PlayStation coming that I'm super pumped about, other than Spider-Man 2 is somewhat appealing, but uh, I won't be in a rush to really play that anyway. To be
Yeah.
honest, it can wait.
Yes, it was 10 hours ago. Kotaku. Starfield fans are melting down over invisible walls and the possible limits of exploration. Like, whoop-de-doo. Come on, guys. Seriously? I mean, you got a couple thousand planets in there. You think you're going to be able to explore every single square inch of the damn game? Like, cut them some slack. My God.
Yeah, that kind of thinking's a bit naive to me. Like,
I mean,
sure, they,
I'd be
yeah,
pissed if the game showed me like this old burned out building, okay, like off in the distance, and you got to walk through it, and then you couldn't get there. But if all I saw was like basically barren landscape, I'm like, well, who the fuck wants to go over there anyway? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And I would expect that there's not going to be buildings you can't go to. That to me would be a big mistake. But it's Bethesda. They've made mistakes before. But I do hate when you have things that you look like they're traversable. Like a rock or something that's waist high, a little rock wall that's waist high, and for some reason you can't just jump over that or jump onto it and keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna make something a wall, don't
Yeah,
make it invisible. Make it like a wall that you're not getting through or whatever,
yeah.
right?
Put an actual barrier up there so you hit something,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like
Or
that's what
you know,
would drive in the Uncharted series. They're famous for, oh, hey, there's a plank sideways across the door. You can't go through there. Where the guy can, hop over things, and you're like parkouring with the best of them, and you can't get past a sideways plank on a door. It just seems weird. I don't like
mm,
silly barriers like that. Like,
mm.
just put a steel door up, right?
Now
Can't get through.
I do think Terry in the chat, she might be onto something that I think I might have to agree with. I think there will be some planets, or there's going to be parts of this game, yes, that you kind of go, oh, that's disappointing. But
Hmm.
I kind of found that with almost every space game kind of played so far, where there's some planets that seem very intriguing, there's others you kind of go, eh. And I think that's just nature of the beast. You know what I mean? So I'm not expecting every
Yeah.
one of them to go, oh my God, this is amazing, or there's a lot of stuff. I think there are going to be some planets that are very diverse, and they're going to have a lot of things happening, and there's going to be some that are very barren and just it's
Oh,
just another place to visit and touch grass.
yeah, well, and Bethesda, Todd, I think himself said as much, right? You're going to have
Mm-hmm.
planets that are barren because that's what most of the galaxy is going to be like. In real life, they're trying to be somewhat realistic. Most of the planets are probably going to be like gas giants and junk, right? Or just barren rocks. They're like your
Yeah.
Mercuries and stuff, or Mars.
Anybody
That's
play Death
stuff like
Stranding?
that.
That shit was pretty barren.
Yeah,
And I enjoyed that
exactly.
fucking game,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of walking over some pretty barren ass places trying to avoid invisible freaking whatever the hell they were, oil based water pusses or whatever the fuck they were. I don't
Whatever
know.
the heck those were.
Whatever the
Yeah.
heck that Kojima had in his name, I can't even describe half of that shit.
Yeah, I can't remember what any of that was called. That's a game that I played geez, I don't know. I probably put 20 hours in and then I just drifted away from it. And by the time I kind of thought I'm going to go back to it, I forgot what I was doing. I couldn't remember anything that was going on. So, you just end up abandoning it. But it was an interesting game for the first bit that I played anyway.
100% Talos Ray. No Man's Sky, much better game than it was when it started, but that game had some pretty drab, like, what the hell am I doing on this planet? And I got to sit here for hours to drill rocks and shit to get enough gas to get my damn plane off of this thing.
Yeah, but it was 60 FPS, Snoof. Come on, man.
Oh, that's it,
That makes it worth it, right?
A boring game in 60 FPS is an exciting
Woohoo!
game because it moves fast. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
thanks. No, thanks. Yeah, man. But anyway, I don't know, have we kind of covered everything essentially from the Gamescom, or I mean, I think we talked about some of the big games. I mean, Alan Wake, Modern Warfare 2. Was there any standouts or any surprises by anybody there? Anything that showed up that we weren't really expecting? Because I think for the most part, it was games that most of it was games we've already heard of before, but we just kind of saw them more in depth, I guess you could say.
Have you ever played The Killing Floor?
I have. Oh yeah. They showed off The Killing Floor. What was it, 3?
3, yeah.
Yeah. I did play it originally when it first came out on the PlayStation 2. Yeah.
Because that looked pretty cool. I haven't played any of the other ones, so I don't know what they're like, but that was kind of interesting. And I thought Little Nightmares 3 looked pretty good too. At first, I was like, "Why does this look familiar?" And then realized it was Little Nightmares. So, but yeah, I only started, I think, the first one. I played for a little while, and then you get sidetracked doing something else, and I forgot about it. But gonna have to add it to the list. Go back and play those games.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep moving right along. By the way, guys, while we're kind of debating things, and sorry if I do seem a little distracted because I'm trying to enter all the names to the Wheel of Winning here before we do the draw later on in the show. And those of you just joining us late, yes, this is the final week. This is the week we actually give away the Mass Effect controller. Great timing too, since we're talking about space exploration and RPGs. And I hope all the people that are in this chat are very deserving of winning it. But I kind of hope a little bit that whoever is able to win it is an actual Mass Effect fan and would really enjoy this in their collection. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you win shit and you're just like, but there's some people who are like, oh my god, that would be awesome. But anyway, I do wish everybody that's in the entry luck, and I've been adding all the names. Most of you now are on at least your second, if not fourth entry. There's very few of you in the chat who are actually a first time entry here right now, which is awesome because it shows how awesome you guys are and dedicated to coming out to being a part of this amazing podcast. And you are a part of the podcast. You're like family here. So,
absolutely.
Oh man, they're awesome, man. What else we got on the agenda for tonight? Well, I guess I got to ask you, what do you think of this PlayStation Portal? Now, I'm just gonna before you answer, I'll just say that as a guy who owns a PlayStation, I am tempted to get one, but it does seem a little bit expensive. Now, the only reason I would get one is because I think it'd be cool for me, because a lot of times my PlayStation is downstairs, and a lot of times I like to play games upstairs. And it'd be a nice little device, because it feels much like the Pulse controller, and it's got a nice screen on it. And I think it'd be, as long as, like I said, the price is decent, I'd be willing to pick one up, because I would just, play some games upstairs. Like you when you're just chilling in bed, or you're just sitting somewhere on the couch and you don't really want to go through turning on the console, and you know what I mean? Like you could kind of play it.
Yep.
How does that work? Can you take it anywhere and play it though? I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. I think from what I've read, it sounds like you have to be on your local Wi-Fi for it to work. And I think that's the big downfall for it in my mind. If it was cloud enabled and you could remote play, I would be
right. Wouldn't that be cool?
Pretty darn interested in it, right? Because then, it's kind of funny looking. I'll say that, like with the cut in half controller, but at the same time, at least you know what you're getting in your hands, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind the PS5 controller. It's pretty decent compared to previous iterations. Like, I didn't understand how anyone could play PS3 for any length of time. The controller's so small, it felt like I could not hold the thing. It was painful to hold. PS4 improved on that quite substantially, and the PS5 is a decent iterative improvement again on the PS4 controller, right? But man, I don't know. I don't
Quote
know.
of the night from Doggy Dog right there. For those who can't take a break from gaming to take a shit.
Yeah,
uh,
there you go. Yeah,
it's going to be my
PS.
new shitter device, Doggy Dog. That's actually what it is. The
Yeah,
PlayStation Potty is for shitting. For shitting and gaming. That's what it is right there. Do not
man.
touch the controllers. They're filled with farticles.
Yeah. No, I tell you,
uh,
it's a weird design choice. I don't know why they would not have made it cloud enabled. That would have made it an entirely different device to me. And for
yeah.
the price then at 200, it becomes fairly decent. Uh, I would be very tempted. I bought, you remember the PlayStation TV?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
bought
good
one of
one. I never
those.
did buy that.
Yeah, I bought one of those because I thought, well, it'd be really handy to have it on my other TV. I don't have to buy another PS4. They were pretty scarce at the time still. I had two originally, and then I took one back, and and then I kind of regretted that. And I thought, geez, I should have kept that second one. But oh, hey, I'll give this a try. And it sucked. Because it only worked with the PS3 controller. The PS4 controller wouldn't work with it. But B, the input latency was brutal, and the compression artifacts were really bad too. Like it just was not a good experience, even on local area network. Like that wasn't Wi-Fi or anything, that was plugged in, everything plugged in, and it was just bad. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of that experiment in the sense that you're isolated to your own home, you can't go anywhere with it, and that just kind of defeats the purpose for a handheld to me. If it was at least cloud enabled so you could literally use it, you could take it with you and hook up to your doctor's Wi-Fi or whatever and play a game, that would be great while you're sitting in the waiting room, right? But
Gotcha.
oh, and the other dumb thing is I think it needs those Bluetooth earbuds, or it doesn't use Bluetooth or something. It uses a proprietary audio signal or something dumb like
No,
that, so
I
you
think
can't
you
just
can
use
use
any
you can use
headset.
actual. It does have an audio jack, so you can use regular
Okay.
in terms of wireless ones. I think you
What?
do have to use the
Yeah,
whatever PlayStation one that they have,
those earbuds
but
or
you
something.
can use I think standard
Okay.
audio headsets, which is at least some consolation because most of us should have at least a pair of shitty headbud or earbuds kicking around if
Yeah.
nothing else, right?
Yeah, that's not as bad then. That's not as bad. So, okay.
Tell us, Ray, if the controller gets drifted, stuffed.
Yeah.
Hey, make a
What
bad. See
they
what's going on, brother.
what they should have done was had the replaceable thumbsticks like the Edge controller for it.
Mm-hmm.
That should just be mandatory, to be honest, for every controller. There should be swappable thumbsticks to make it easier. Like I've replaced them, taken them apart and desoldered them, soldered in new ones, and it's doable, but it's way too much of a pain for how crappy they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no
But
doubt, no doubt.
anyway.
Just entering some names here. A lot of great people in the chat. Mega Bags, Bad Seed, good to see you in the building, my friend. Michael Monkey Punch Lugo is hanging out with us. Eternal Shaddai, Curry Cosmos, John 907. Hopefully, I've caught up with everybody here. Fastback hanging with us tonight. Good to see you, my friend. Just again, amazing chat. And don't worry, we're giving away that controller shortly. So most of you here have at least earned one entry. If not, most of you have 3 or 4. I can definitely tell you Doggy Dog's got his 4 because he's always usually the first one in the chat. So that's crazy. I think Cool Cat Terry has at least 3. Most, like I said, have at least 3 or 4. It's going to be an interesting draw when we get to it in just a few minutes. By the way, guys, select who. We're not going to drag out everybody tonight. But I want everybody to vote in the chat. Who would you like to see in the question period tonight? Do you want to see Cletus? Do you want to see Safe House? Do you want to see Arnold? Or would you like to see Mr. Handy Andy? So I can do maybe 1 or 2. I'd like to hear from you guys who you'd like to see or hear on the screen tonight before we close the show. So let me know. Let me know. Do we have a like I said, I don't know. This PlayStation Portal really doesn't make a lot of sense in most cases, and I don't think it's going to be a very popular idea. What Sony was thinking, like I see what they're trying to do, but it's kind of missing the mark. And the funniest thing, and I've said this all along, is why wouldn't you just take a design that they had nailed with the PlayStation Vita and just upgrade that a little bit? And actually made the Vita, because the Vita could do all of that shit back in the day. The Vita could actually stream the games from the
Yeah.
PS3 and stuff. I think they even had it lined with the PS4 at one point. So it was able to do that and more, plus have storage space. I mean, I was even thinking if you had they could have done like a Vita 2, upgrade the hardware. Like you didn't have to reinvent the wheel, called it a Vita 2. You could have had a store on there that was backwards compatible with the old PSP and the old PlayStation Vita games. That sort of thing would have been cool. And
Yeah.
then made it again streamable and still had it at a decent price. Could stream. Like I don't really understand why they wouldn't have gone something like that, and then had more of a handheld competitor, so to speak, than having just a device that, for the most part, is going to be like a small percentage of people even going to care about, only because, again, like Doggy Dag said, it's basically a bedroom or a shitter device, right?
Yeah. No, it's a weird one, man. The opportunity lost, I think, is what I'd say. Like Sony always seems to do something stupid. Like even the Vita, why did they use proprietary storage? Well, because they could. And why lock this down to just playing games from the PS5? Because they can. People will run out and buy it anyway, I think, and they know that. And it just seems odd, though, now that they clearly are going to have a presence in streaming. Why not make that work? It just seems like a really big missed opportunity to really compete and have a device that's far more functional. I don't
100%.
know. I would, like I say, if it did that, I would probably consider getting one.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's one more thing we were talking about was Modern Warfare. Now, again, we saw a little bit more of Modern Warfare 3
Hmm.
at Gamescom, and one of the articles that Titan had shared in the background was that I guess they've got some new mission design, which might be new to the series, and
Yeah.
apparently it's said courtesy Games Radar that said that Modern Warfare 3's new open combat missions sound like a speedrunner's dream. And here's what it is. Um, I guess they're more open-based missions. Now, in the past, if you ever played a story-based mission with Call of Duty, you know that a lot of times they're very, very linear. There's, again, lots of invisible walls or areas that are sort of cordoned off, so you can't really run the gauntlet. You're basically forced to be
Yeah.
in one area. And almost in some ways, and I always found this a problem with Call of Duty games, I ever found like if you did things outside of sort of the way it was scripted, it felt like the game was really hard. But then if you sort of listened to what the guy was saying or whatever, like the instructions, and you followed sort of the set rules or the set of invisible rules, then you could get to the missions. Do you know what I mean? Like if you kind of went off somewhere, then it was like the enemies just seemed like they kept on respawning, and you're like, oh, I guess I must be doing something wrong here, and
Yeah. Yeah. Because
move along.
yeah, exactly. Like you keep killing the guy on the turret or whatever, and he keeps showing up again. Like they just keep filling it until you push forward, right? That's what you're getting at. But
Yeah, they had
um,
like certain little
yeah,
ways of it was. It felt like the
yeah,
game would just get inordinate. Like, what's going on? Like, it's not moving forward because I must be doing something wrong. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
so they're
So
they're gonna try to modify the campaign with nonlinear gameplay, in addition to the usual cinematic levels, and basically just not limited to using stealth, guns ablazes, Takama, but loadout, picking gear. Just they're gonna add up more variety and how you tackle each mission. They're gonna try to give you more options on how to do that, which I think overall, I think is definitely could breathe some new life into campaigns that have always been good, but a little bit stagnant, if that makes any sense.
yeah, I know I hear what you're saying. I like the idea. At first, when I heard about it, I thought, oh crap, they're not making it like some kind of open world thing, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
to me, I like this type of game to be a little bit more linear, but it used to bug me when I would try and approach a mission in a specific way, and I couldn't because they wanted you to do that one thing that you had to do in order to progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like that's the change. It's going to let you go in all stealth if you want to go stealth, and it's going to let you go in guns a blazing and try and speed run it if that's what you want to do. So it sounds pretty cool, and that's why, the game is on my can't wait to play list, right? I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a tough one for me to not buy it day one because I really love the remake Modern Warfare so far, like both the first one and the second one.
Yeah, well done. And great
That's
campaigns. I mean, I don't
yeah,
think I've ever had a bad
man.
campaign. I've liked every single one of them. The one that always stands out to me was the original Modern Warfare, just because, it was so different at a time when I guess a lot of it was because we'd gotten so used to Call of Duty being like a World War shooter. And then Modern
Yeah.
Warfare comes along and it totally reinvents the wheel for them. And you had all those
Yeah.
standout missions. We all remember the original sniper mission, how cool that was, crawling under the trucks into the grass. And
Yeah.
even with Modern Warfare
That
2,
was
you
fun.
start scaling that the very first, you start scaling the wall, the ice cliff or whatever, and you go into this base
Yeah.
and snow is blowing. And there's some of those things that just stand out to you, because they were very new. Now everything's kind of stagnant for the most part, but um, they're still great games. I mean, they never really miss, even though the campaigns seem to have progressively gotten a bit shorter. And of course, who
Hmm.
could forget? I mean, obviously the campaign that was in Infinite Warfare, because it took us to space and did some really crazy. So they really went out there with that one, but that was one of their literally worst selling Call of Duty games in the franchise history. So there's no wonder we've never seen them go back to space with their games, or sort of go too far in the future, I guess you could say.
Yeah. No, I like I said, going back to Modern Warfare 2 remake. What I liked, I think, a lot about that game was, and this is something that I think a lot of people didn't like in the campaign. I'd liked that there was the guns blazing moments and then the stealth moments. Like there was that one entire part of, I don't know what you call it, campaign piece, or that one mission, whatever you want to call it, where you're injured and you got to be all
Mm-hmm.
stealth to get through and stuff. I like that. I thought the variety was awesome. I am one of the guys that I tend to play the campaign. I don't get into the multiplayer too much. I might try it a little bit here and there, but I buy COD for the campaigns. I've always enjoyed them, and that's why I never bought Black Ops 4, because there was no campaign. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, graphically, it looked quite impressive, at least a little bit that we saw. Um, and yeah, so far, I love that it's a legit continuation. Some may argue maybe it should have been a DLC.
Yeah.
There wasn't supposed to be a new COD this year, if you recall, and it sounded like there was going to be a DLC. Maybe the campaign got big enough
Yeah.
that they thought, hey, it's a release on its own, and uh, pulled one of those moves, kind of like God of War, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Ragnarok was
Yeah.
originally rumored to be DLC, and it ended up being its own game, and maybe the same thing's happening here, but
Which one
maybe
of the
that's why
COD
it
games
continues
never?
on.
There was one that didn't have a campaign, right? Am I
That
correct?
was Black Ops 4. Yeah.
Black Ops 4, right? Because I
Yeah.
was always wondering. I remember there was one that didn't have one, and I've avoided. Like
Yeah.
I haven't played a Black Ops game since Black Ops 2. As a matter of fact,
Hmm.
I wasn't a real fan of those franchises or those series, even though I know a lot of my friends loved the first couple of Black
Oh,
Ops games. I just
I did. Yeah.
didn't like them that much. I just started playing the new, was it? Well, not new, I guess anymore now, but I just started
Cold
playing
War.
Cold War because it was a free to
Hmm.
play game with PlayStation Premium or PlayStation Plus. So
Okay.
yeah, and I'm actually enjoying that so far. So yeah, I
Right on.
got to get
Yeah.
into it. So yeah.
I liked Cold War. I played that a little while back, and I enjoyed it. Like I say, I usually enjoy the campaigns. I can't think of one in Call of Duty history that I thought was a real stinker.
Hmm.
Uh, and I've played, I think, pretty much all of them. Um, it wasn't huge. I think, what was it? Infinite maybe was the one
Yeah.
that I wasn't super thrilled with,
Yeah,
but
had Kit
uh,
Harington in it from Game of Thrones.
yeah, that could be the one. There was one. There's kind of two of them that went off
Well,
the
it was
beaten
Halo
path
Advanced
for them,
Warfare that had Kevin Spacey.
right?
Right? And then they followed up after that was Halo Infinite. I think those ones kind of Infinite Warfare. Then it was Halo
Yeah,
Advanced or
advanced
Halo Advanced Call of Duty
COD,
Advanced
COD. I
Warfare.
know what you meant.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah. It was one of those two that it didn't really hit the mark for me, but it was still an okay game, right? I went through prior to Modern Warfare 2 releasing last year, and I replayed all the CODs over the course of the first part of the year, and yeah, it was fun going back and doing that. I even played went all the way back to like Call of Duty 2 and
Hmm.
stuff, and just played through them. And I didn't play one. One was a pretty long
Yeah.
campaign, and that game's a little long in the tooth for me. But started with two and played my way through. Played some Modern Warfare remasters,
Yeah.
even like they remastered two and stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, for a
Campaign
long
is where
time
it's at
too. I
for me.
remember a lot of us complained that they just really went back to the well too many times. The old engine and it was starting to show its age. Battlefield kept
Yep.
advancing the Dice engine, the Frostbite, and their games progressively got bigger and
Yeah.
better, and it was noticeable. And Call of Duty was just kind of like, it just really looks and feels exactly like Call of Duty. But I think by the
Yeah.
time they certainly came out with the new Modern Warfare, you could definitely tell that they stepped up their game and it looks
Oh yeah.
their games look amazing. Like the latest ones are. I
Yeah.
mean, if anybody, how they don't get more credit, that's the funny thing is how they don't get more credit for their graphics and stuff. Because every time there's these conversations going on, everybody just talks about all these other games, and I'm like, guys, have you not seen the fucking graphics in Call of Duty? It's almost like fucking picturesque, and their animation systems are nuts. And these guys go into the house, you're like, Jesus, looks like a movie, man. Like, holy fuck. So I don't know, great, crazy stuff, but it never seems to get credit where credit's due again because I think it's become a juggernaut of a franchise and it just kind of gets overlooked in those areas. I mean, even the voice acting, some of the storylines, like again, you can say what you like about Call of Duty and its multiplayer, and usually that's where people start hating it. It's because they get disenchanted with the multiplayer and it changes, and God knows that
Yeah.
Call of Duty certainly like hasn't necessarily reinvented the wheel, but they've made so many changes that it seems like one series you're starting to like it, and then all of a sudden they drive you away from it on the next series because they start changing shit again. It's like stick with what
Hmm.
works. And I think Titan said it a couple weeks back when we were talking. He said like they had it right when they did the first Modern Warfare because they added just enough stuff to make it different, but they didn't make it to the point where like you had all these weird ass sights on the guns and shit was starting to feel like more sci-fi than actual closer related. You know what I mean? Like back when you had like
Yeah.
3 or 4 perks, and now you got all these perks and you got to add up to get them all. And half the time you're getting killed by shit you can't even see. You're getting killed by these fucking people can see through walls now, and they got all these drones and
Yeah.
shit. And you're kind of going, man, I'm not even getting killed by actual people that can shoot straight anymore. I'm just getting killed by the
Yeah.
little camper shit who hangs out in the corner, kills like 20 people, and it
Hmm.
goes, I got a fucking chopper gunner, you
Well,
bitches. You know?
the thing I don't like about it is the pressure to prestige a weapon so that it performs as good as it possibly can. Like, you ever play where you'd pick up a prestige weapon after someone was killed and whatnot, and how much
Mm-hmm.
different it felt than the piece of junk you were using? That was like an eye opener. And then I just realized I don't have the time to do that and upgrade the weapon to that level. I'll never be able to compete in the game, and that's just the way it is. So that's why I usually just don't bother with the PvP aspect of it. And that's why I like Halo,
Mm-hmm.
because the weapons are the weapons, you know. I enjoyed Destiny PvP at one point, but it was a little different. You kind of were dependent on getting that god roll, right?
Yeah.
Because of the randomized nature of it. But, at least you knew there was a chance you could get the god roll,
Yeah.
or, you could get something that was pretty close and half decent. But yeah, I don't have the time to spend that was required, I think, to really play that game.
Yeah, campers love the hardcore. You're right about that. The guy can find a spot and
Yeah.
just pick you off and shit. But look, I mean, the CVs are great games. They've always have. They always will. And there's a reason why they're one of the most played games. Earlier RWK said, I think he said something like Black Ops 4 might have been one of the worst selling franchises or games in the franchise. And it's kind of funny because their game's selling bad is like they sell like 10 million copies and go, that game didn't sell very well at all. And most other games would love to have a fraction, even a fraction of what Call of Duty
Yeah.
is. Like Call of Duty is
No
it's
kidding.
so big that they make them every fucking year, just like the hockey games. Like that tells you something that they don't even
Yeah.
want to miss an iteration because they know how much of a stock drop that happens at Activision if they don't produce this game, which is kind of a blessing and a curse, right? The blessing is you get a Call of Duty game every year. The curse is you get tired of Call of Duty every year. And the curse
Yeah.
is they don't have enough time to really, again, bring a lot of innovation to the game because they constantly have to pump them out. And that's
Mhm.
tough. That's why they got so many studios now. But that's also kind of one of the mysteries to me because back in the day, Infinity Ward built the whole fucking game by themselves, the
Right.
campaign and the multiplayer. Now you get
Yeah.
Infinity Ward with Sledgehammer plus was it Raven plus blah blah. They have like 7 or 8
Yeah.
studios trying to make
I
one
think it's
game, and it's
8.
like,
Yeah.
and you're just like, how you got all these people building parts of the game, and yet it's still taking you like you can't seem to make something different or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I agree. It is crazy, and at least they were alternating. This year, I think, is the first repeat where you have two Modern Warfares in a row. Uh, Normally they kind of alternate, right? Like you have more of a boots on the
Mm-hmm.
ground, like the World War II that came out, and then you'll have, a Black Ops or something. And what was that other one? I played it. I can't remember the one that people didn't like because there was like laser sights, but it was more like World War II when they didn't have laser sights.
Probably Call of Duty World War II.
No, it was what the heck was that
Van,
called?
Vanguard.
That's the one. That's the one. And
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind the game; it was okay, but they were alternating those, so you weren't getting the same genre. I guess it's all shooters, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you weren't getting the Modern Warfares all in a row like that. So this is a little bit different in that regard. But it is
Well,
my favorite.
Yeah.
So.
Well, here's a great DLC. Here's a great DLC idea for Call of Duty. Call of Duty GI Joe edition. Wouldn't that be wild?
I could see a lot
with
of people.
Cobra versus GI Joe characters and guns and stuff from that universe. Even if it was DLC or add-on, my God, people would go nuts. I would totally think that would be awesome.
I can think of a few people I know that would go crazy for it. I was never really into that GI Joe stuff, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I had friends that were heavy into it, and they're all COD fans too.
I mean,
so they'd probably just be in their
It
glory.
totally lends itself to like, actually even more so than Call of Duty. It probably lends itself to being, like the shooters that have like class-based characters. Because if you look at GI Joe, it's literally set up for that. Because you got guys like Roadblock, your heavy gunner. Then you got guys like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, essentially your stealth assassin-based types. And then you got your all-rounders like Duke and different people. Yeah, and a Rambo edition. How cool would that to have Rambo in there or game set up like Rambo? Wouldn't that be cool? Call of Duty Rambo edition. And the missions are based right? And the missions are based on his movies. Wouldn't that be fucking amazing?
I was just thinking that, like, you could do an entire game for like First Blood. Like that'd be pretty cool. Or
right? Oh my God, yeah. And they got all those games. They got all those movies now. They can literally make that the entire game. It's just basically those missions are based on Rambo. And Rambo the early years, the Rambo 1 and 2 and then 3.
Yeah.
And then the Rambo the later years. And that would be that. Oh my God, that in itself would just make fun. Bank. And that would be different, and people would still enjoy it. Like Call of Duty, Rambo edition.
Yeah.
Guys, you're sitting on a gold mine. Me and Mental are over here orgasming over this. He's losing his hair literally over this.
Too late for that.
Right?
But no,
oh my God, dude, I'd buy that in a
totally
heartbeat.
into that. Yeah,
I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I'd drop a major and a special edition of that would be so fucking cool. But like, I don't know, it's just something, man. It'd be oh God, just the thought of that would be amazing. Oh shit.
Yeah, what was Commando edition? Even the Arnold one, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Do Commando and Call of Duty. Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd be down with that.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up on this. We're gonna bring in Arnold for a little bit here, and then of course we are going to do our Wheel of Winning and the Draw giveaway. So that's coming up here in just a moment. So I'm gonna step aside and I'm gonna call Mr. Arnold, who is on standby here. So get your questions ready, because here we go. So let's go. Arnold is in the building. What has happened, Arnold? How you been? It's been a long time. It seems like it's been several weeks since you've made an actual appearance on this particular program. So what's going on? I'm just here. The one that's first of all to say that this is an amazing program, and I've been listening to you guys. You're absolutely killing it. Your chat is absolutely incredible, and I wanted to say you guys are amazing. And I want to wish you a very good luck tonight, and whoever is going to win when you're doing the draw. But this is great. And I really like what you just said. But of course, I like Mental's opinion even better because he said Commando. I think that would make a great movie, especially if you have a level where you get to chase Sully and you get to hang him by his foot. That would be incredible. That was awesome. That would be, you could have a plane level, where you smack the guy in the face and the head, all that sort of shit would be very good. So I think that would be awesome, and I would love to see a Call of Duty game with Rambo. That would be amazing. Now, to the people in the chat, they look like they got a few questions here. Maybe that we could answer out here, and we'll select a couple here right now. And it looks like we got one from Two Pat Stack.
Hey Arnold, what do you do about jock itch?
Oh, What do I do with itchy balls? Very good. It's a very good question. First of all, one of the things you can do with itchy balls is you could put lots of talcum powder on there and you could just scratch them a lot. But of course, when you're scratching your sweaty balls, you often get very sweaty and stinky finger, and you don't want the stinky finger out there. So no. You could get your wife to lick your balls, but I don't know if she'd want to lick them. It's very itchy, and also. Yeah, you could also get your donkey or your dog to lick your balls. I don't know. I have a couple of donkeys, and they seem to have no problem with getting down in the dirty areas. All right, we
Wow,
got
that's some great advice, Arnold.
doggy dog.
Yeah, there's a question here from Doggy Dog. Arnold, will you play the PlayStation Portal while you're on the shitter?
It's the perfect place to play the PlayStation Portal that's on the shit out. Where else are you going to play it? Fuck, you can barely do anything with it. That thing is almost as effective as a wallet with no money in it. You know what I mean? Like, what is the point? I mean, they're going to make this. It looks cool. And that's like almost everything PlayStation is. It looks cool, but that's about the end of it. You don't even want to do it in anymore. That's the only place I'm going to play it is in on the shit out when they're trying to get away from the cats, the dogs, the donkeys, and the maids. I'm going to play it there. It's a perfect place, and that is an awesome name for a doggy dog. It should be called the PlayStation Portable Shitter or the PlayStation Shitter Portable, the PSP. All right, we got one coming in from Iconic Video Games or Axel.
Sorry, just catching up here. Hey, Arnold, what should we do if our significant others interrupt our exploration in Starfield?
You are going to go outside and you're going to tie them onto a stick and you're going to feed them the most disgusting crap or something. I don't even know what you're going to do, but all I know is when I get ready to sit down uninfected with Starfield, they had better not come in my house. They better not coming at me. I want to sit down. I want to explore this space, and I want to have my Mars moment like I did back in Total Recall. Now, the only thing I want to say is I hope, Todd Howard, that someone in this game that you've got three-titted women in there. I want a planet with ladies with three titties.
There you go. And then Cybergunter wants to know, why do you love Todd Howard?
Oh, did we skip past? Oh, there we go. Because Todd's name rhymes with God. We all call him God Howard around here. He's an amazing guy. He has put out a lot of incredible games. Now, the only problem with Todd Howard is he hasn't put me in one of his games yet. I should have been the lead character in Starfield. Who would not want to be me exploring the outer regions of space with this fantastic accent in amazing dialogue scenes when I get to talk to sexy aliens and we get to have all sorts of space orgies? That's exactly what I'm doing here. Todd Howard, that's your only mistake. You should have had me in your game, but you are an absolute legend, and I can't wait to get to one of these days. I'm going to meet you somewhere.
And then Cybergunter is asking you, Arnold. He's saying you need to have a talk with Noof because about that PS Portable because it has those boundaries that won't let it stream from the cloud. So you're not allowed to let Noof buy one of those. What do you think?
That is freaking terrible. I don't know what the hell are you thinking when you're making this PlayStation shit portable. I want to be able to play it everywhere, not just close to my pubic hair. I want to have something that can hold in my hands and I can really get down. You got these great games, but yet somehow I'm going to use the light of 10 feet away. I mean, what the hell is up with that? I honestly don't know, but this is a terrible idea. This is going to tank. This is going to be worse than your marketing for the PlayStation VR2. I can tell you that right now. These guys have to wake up and smell the coffee because this thing is not exactly what PlayStation fans have been wanting.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that fits with my thoughts exactly. And RWK88, Arnold, do you hope they have the Uzi 9mm in Starfield?
They won't have the Uzi 9mm. Actually, you know what? It might be the Uzi 9 inches. I'm oozing out of my 9-inch Uzi right there. That's what I'm doing. I'm oozing machismo. They're not going to Uzi 9mm. It's a space game for crying out loud. What the hell do you think? They're going to have some kind of weird ass space weapon, like the nuclear hole sucking device or something like that. You know, there's always this crazy ass fucking games and all of these crazy ass these weapons when they do these kind of games like this, stuff you can't pronounce, stuff that absolutely looks crazy. Like one of the recent games that looks very crazy is that what the hell is it called? With the gun is the little alien gun. What the hell is that game called? You hold on to him, it looks like you're squeezing a penis, and he talks to you. What game is that?
Oh, High on Life.
High on Life. That was a genius game. That is a game you should be out there playing. That's a game I'd love to be part of. That was
a good
crazy.
game.
That was a great game. You want to play out there playing High on Life, but yes, no, the weapons in these alien games are some very crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be more like the Plays plasma rifle in a 40-watt range, I expect.
I don't know if that's a question for Arnold. I think it's a
no, that was just a comment from me. I think that's what we'll be seeing, Arnold. But
yeah, I hope the PlayStation Portal is explained well, because I got a funny feeling they could sell a lot of those, and people get home and go, that's all this thing does, and they're like, oh, I could see a few returns to the store. It's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen
for sure. Yeah, Gene with how many uninformed moms are about to buy their kid a PlayStation Portable, not having a PS5.
And I thought it's a portable.
I could see that.
It's cheap because
I could see that happening.
Yeah. They're gonna buy it because they think, it's a PlayStation Portable that's cheap and it plays PlayStation games, and they're gonna buy it. And so
yeah. I would hope if they go into a store, they'll get the straight goods from the guy in the store or the girl in the store telling them, hey, you need a PS5 for this. But if they buy it online, who knows?
Last two questions. One coming in first is Cyber Gunter.
Where is that one? I do not see it.
Arnold, who will you terminate, make love to in Starfield? I will terminate everybody that is not packing a twat on the spot. I don't want to make love to the guys with the weird ass aliens. There's enough of that weird shit now in the United States and in Canada, where people don't even know who they're making love to anymore. They can't decide what gender they want to be. So no, I'm going to make love to very sexy aliens. As long as they got a couple of boobies, I'm ready to pop the loobies.
All right. And 2-pad stack. Yes. Hey, Arnold, are you going to try Armored Core, or is it too much Elden Ring? Die, try again.
The only ring that I've been using around my house is a cock ring. I'm not playing Elden Ring. I don't want to be die. What the hell? I'm the Terminator. I come back. I don't die all the time. No, I don't want to play Armored Core either. That game better not be hard. I don't like hard. The only time I want to be hard is when I pop in Vega and making love to the next mate. That is all I want to be doing here.
All right.
I think
that's it for the questions.
Indeed. That is it for the questions. That's as much time as we got. We're going to get ready to close the show. And I'm going to bring in that wheel of winning, just making sure one last roll down the old list here to make sure that I've entered everybody that's in here. And it looks like I haven't seen any new. There's been a couple of new names in here tonight, but most of you guys are now on your second, third, or fourth. I think Audible Fart is in the chat, and a great name, by the way. I think he might be on his first entry. The rest of you should have at least, like I said, 3 or 4 at this point. So without any further ado, it is that time of night. Now, all I'm going to stress to you guys, you must, one, either be, I don't care if you're following the channel or you subscribe, but you better be following me on Twitter, or most importantly, at least be follow me on Xbox, because whoever wins this, I need to be able to get a hold of you and find your damn address. And whoever is winning it tonight, you better be live in the chat. That's another thing, because if you're not here right now when I draw it, I'm redrawing. So again, you better be live in the chat, because when I draw it, you're going to need to basically claim it in the chat. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye out for that, and you're only going to have like so many seconds or so to basically type in "I won" after I draw the name. So all right, Mental, we're going to bring this up. Let's bring the screen up. She's going to share the screen. We're going to bring up the wheel of names. All right, and let's see where we are. Yes, let's do it here. All right, here we go. As you can see, there are a crap ton of names on here. Scrolling right down the list. I'm not
seeing the screen here for some reason. I don't see your screen. I don't know if chat. Are you guys seeing it?
There we go.
Seeing it.
Hey,
there it comes.
There we go. Right, here it is, guys. So I'm just going to scroll this right now. It's in alphabetical order. So I'm not going to read them all out, but I'm going to scroll down here. Hopefully you see your names on the list. Again, they are coming up in alphabetical order. There you go. Like I said, some of you guys may have one or two. Actually, I think I got to add an extra one for Charlie. I think he's been here twice. I know Charlie's in the chat tonight. But there you go. I'm just scrolling down through the list, not too fast. And it should have your, like I said, you can see here that some of them have two, some have three, some have four entries, people that have been here. And again, if you're not live in the chat when I draw it, I'm going to redraw again. That's the whole benefit of doing this and the whole benefit of actually being here and supporting the program and not just showing up for a quick win. So there we go. I think we just about got everybody here. We're almost down to the T's, down to the, there we go. All right. So let me just check it back in with the chat here again right now. And good luck to everybody. Yeah, I can only imagine what Arnold's ship in Starfield would look like. So, all right. Arnie is, Stick Figure's not watching. Arnie is gone. Well, you're in the chat right now, man. That's all that matters. So good luck to everybody, guys, again. And I can't thank you enough for being here. For those of you who've been able to come out, fortunate enough to be here for the 4 weeks. Awesome stuff. But I know not everybody can make all these shows. That's 100%. But hey, at least you're getting an entry. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to shuffle those entries. Right now they're in alphabetical order, so I'm just going to shuffle them. So now they're all over the place. All right, guys, and here we go. I am going to I'm going to spin that right now. So everybody ready? All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Who's going to win? And happy birthday to you, by the way, Doggy Dog, sir. And, our winner is actually Paris, and he has only been in the chat for one particular show, and that's when we had Lord Cognito 2 weeks ago. Now, I have a funny feeling that Paris is not in the chat tonight. Paris, you got 30 seconds to come forward and claim if you're in the chat, sir. So, yeah, Paris, you guys might know him. He's like an Xbox ambassador. He's one of the big YouTubers. So let's see. We're gonna wait like 30 seconds here. Countdown: 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I vote to redraw because Paris is not here to claim his prize. So there you go. So here we go. Let's do it again. I don't know where the names went though. Did they all fucking? Where'd they go? Okay, here we go. We're gonna shuffle them. We're gonna do this again. Here we go for the second time around, guys. Sorry, Paris, but those are the breaks, my brother. And I'm sure Paris would probably say give it to someone anyway because that guy's making enough bank from Xbox anyway. So yeah, sucks to be Paris. Sorry, brother. Somebody tells me that he gets mad. Oh, was it there? All right, so here we go. Let's do this again. Wheel of names. Draw number 2. I hope whoever wins it's in the chat.
Yeah.
Hey! One of my longtime followers, Curry Cosmos. That's funny because earlier she's excited to see who wins, and she is the winner. Look at that. Congratulations, Curry. I think you were in the chat, correct? Let's check in with the chat. I think she is here actually. She was here like just a few minutes ago. Yeah, she did win. So congratulations, Curry.
Congrats.
Curry, I think you are following me on Twitter, I think. So if you're not, please do, or make sure that you're following me on Xbox because I'm going to need your contact information so I can ship you the controller. So congratulations to Curry Causes, one of the very few ladies who actually watches and enjoys the show. Very deserving, by the way. So thank you, Curry, first of all, for being an amazing gamer. I only got to play games with her one time in the past, and we had a little blast. I think we actually played, if I remember, I think it was Ghost Recon. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Curry, but we definitely need to play again. So again, congratulations, Doggy Dog, sir. Congratulations, you, and happy birthday, brother. Yeah, you would definitely have been a very deserving guy to win, but unfortunately, so we can only have one, and you're all winners in my heart. So, guys, thanks again for being here and supporting the channel. And Curry, make sure you send me a message on Twitter so I can reach out to you and I can get your contact so I can ship that controller in the next couple of days. I think you're going to love it. And I think Curry is an actual, correct me if I'm wrong, Curry, but I think you are a Mass Effect fan too. So That'll be awesome. So
It's awesome.
there you go, everybody. So fantastic stuff. Thanks again for coming out. I'm just going to close that, get out of here. And again, shout out to Titan Drago. Sorry, Titan couldn't be here tonight. I didn't see his wife in the chat either, so guess he's under the weather, or maybe he's under her.
With
Who
the
knows?
family. Yeah, I think what he was is his whole family, the kids were sick and everything. So
yeah,
but yeah. Shout out to
absolutely.
him. Hope he gets better, and we're back to all three of us next week.
Indeed, indeed. So hopefully all three of us. I was going to try to rig a guest for tonight, but the person didn't get back to me. So unfortunately, it is what it is, baby. You're going to have weeks like that. But it was a great show. I knew Mental would bring the heat as he did, and now we get ready to close it down for another week, and hopefully a little bit of a new look to the show when we come back next week. Well, I'll tell you more about that as we go along. All I got to say is I got a little something coming up with the show, courtesy of Sean Labrie, and it'll definitely look a little bit different. Not a whole lot, but yeah, I got a couple things in the works. So anyway, guys, it's been amazing. You're awesome. We'll see you all again next week. But before we go, Mental, let people know where they can catch you.
At Mental9R on X or Twitter, if you prefer. And you can also find me at Caffeine Entertainment, all one word, on YouTube. I got a one video up there. If you want to check it out, that would be great. It's just me and an old longtime friend of mine that watching the Starfield Direct. He's a PlayStation fan. He had never watched the Direct, and even though I'd kind of semi-hyped him for Starfield and enough to get him to preload, he had no idea if he'd actually play it or not. But he, I'll leave it up to you guys to, if you want to watch it, you can find out what his thoughts were. But yeah, fun.
Indeed. And I guess it should come back on the camera. And guys, as always, thank you so much for your love and support. Again, share this out, hit the like, comment, and subscribe, and tell people just because you didn't catch it live, you can catch it on the replay. And sometimes it's always just as good the next day, right? And we hope that you enjoy our takes on we're not right, we're not wrong, we're always just somewhere in the middle. It's just our opinions and no more, no less. We're all gamers. We're all here for the same reason, for entertainment and to shoot the shit together as the friends we are. So until next week, guys, you know where to catch us. Hopefully, like I said, Titan will be back in the fold as we look forward to episode 14 as we click right along, and just a few weeks away. Can't wait to do the Starfield episode, man. It's going to be hard to pull everybody away from the game for a little bit, but I certainly can't wait to get everybody's reaction when they dive in. And I got a feeling that's going to be all the panel and pretty much everybody in the chat. So looking forward to that.
Should be fun.
It's going to be a great show. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right
until then, you guys all have yourself a great night, great evening, great morning, whatever it is in your neck of the woods, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Good night,
Peace
everyone.
out.
Cheers.